What is going on, Battlefield players? Welcome to an episode of Commentary Discussion. This is where we talk about very big topics happening most likely in the Battlefield scene. Obviously this time we're going to be talking about the announcement of Battlefield 4, but we're also going to be touching on my kind of opinions on Premium after the announcement of Battlefield 4, as well as a little bit about Bad Company 3. So it's extremely important that you guys get involved in the discussion, because I'm going to be listing a bunch of my own opinions, and I really want to hear your opinions. I want to know if you agree, disagree, what else you have to add to it, and try and discuss with other YouTubers and see what you guys can really just, what things you guys agree on and what things you guys disagree on. So let's start with the gameplay. Now obviously it's Battlefield Bad Company 2, one of my all-time favorite games of all time, using the Apache on heavy metal. Now some of the old school subscribers will actually recognize this footage, because I did have it on my channel about a year and 3 months ago, right before summer started, and I had copyrighted music in. I had the Matrix theme in it, so I had to take it down, and I found it. So I was like, that would be fucking awesome. They just show it during this commentary discussion, especially with this announcement of Battlefield 4 instead of Bad Company 3, but we're gonna get into that. So now I'm sure all of you are aware that Medal of Honor Warfighter is going to be coming with the Battlefield 4 beta, and this is exactly what they did with Medal of Honor 2010, which was a god-awful game for the money you spent on it. I mean, I bought it when it was $60. You get like 5 maps, 10 weapons, no vehicles, really shitty gameplay, and all that stuff, so I definitely wasn't a fan of it. Warfighter, it does look promising. It's using the brand new Frostbite engine, the Frostbite 2, the same one as Battlefield 3, and I am excited for it. I'm going to be getting it on PC just so I could get those extra graphics, the extra frames, so I can really just try and enjoy it more. And of course, going to be making tons of videos on it. So that's my opinion about Warfighter. As for Battlefield 4, I'm extremely glad that there's at least a new Battlefield in development, whether it's a Bad Company 3 or any type of Battlefield, because as long as DICE is making Battlefield games, I'm extremely happy. Now, one thing I really just want to get out is that I'm so sick and tired of seeing people complaining that Battlefield 4 is coming out too early. Sure, they may have announced it earlier than usual, but that's just the hype of Medal of Honor. But as for the release dates, because I'm guessing it's going to be coming out fall 2013, Battlefield is actually in longer release time than previous Battlefield games. Bad Company 1 to Bad Company 2, 18 months, a year and a half. Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 3, once again 18 months, meaning a year and a half. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that the game's being made for a year and a half. That's absolutely ridiculous. The games are probably being made for about 3, maybe even up to 4 years. These games are being made while other ones are being pushed out, and there's always a big schedule, huge long productions. Now I can see how it's announced too early, but like I said, that is just the hype up Medal of Honor. I mean, a lot of people are probably already questioning, should they get Medal of Honor, should they not? Battlefield 4 is still gonna be, Battlefield 3 is still gonna be a big game when Medal of Honor comes out, so is it really worth buying Medal of Honor? And now that people are like, oh, I can get the beta for Battlefield 4, it would give them more motive to buy the game. I was gonna buy it already no matter what, but once again, I'm happy to get it. The only problem is I can guarantee you it's going to be just the same situation as probably a 24-hour head start. So you might be spending $60, $70 on Medal of Honor, and you might only get 48 hours extra time, which probably that 48 hours is you won't even be able to play, because the servers are going to suck like every single time a Battlefield game comes out. Now this is actually going to bring me to the Premium talk. Now I remember right after about Premium, me and my buddy were talking, we bought the future. We bought the future from DICE of DLCs. We don't know if they're going to be good. So far, Close Quarters has been good. I'm happy with it. You can't say it's not worth $15. There's good maps, good weapons, all that stuff. Armored Kill today, the new trailer came out. Looks absolutely stunning, amazing. Looks like it's going to be worth that money too. And now with Battlefield 4 being announced and still having 2 DLCs in the work, Aftermath and Endgame, you need to start questioning, what we already bought those DLCs. Does that mean they could possibly be skimping on the quality of it? Could it be not worth the actual money if you were actually to buy it? But I have a lot of hope in DICE. I have a lot of trust in them. I think that, and they already confirmed that there's still a big solid team working on the Battlefield 3 game. But the question is, is it going to be lacking what these 3 basically DLCs of Back to Karkand, Close Quarters, and Armor Kill are going to be offering us compared to Aftermath and Endgame? Are those going to be kind of skimping? because they're focusing on Battlefield 4. And that's just the kind of price you get for buying their DLCs early. They already have our money. All our money is in their hand. We just basically said, okay, yeah, we'll get the DLCs early if you buy them 6 months beforehand. You get them 2 weeks early. So that's something I'm a little bit worried about. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think that maybe they're going to start skimping on it? I myself, I'm comfortable. I think they're going to do all right, but we don't really know. And even if it is even if it does come out, obviously Endgame and Aftermath, it still may not be up to par to the DLC they were making before they announced Battlefield 4. So that's the only thing I really wanted to cover about Premium. I'm happy about Premium. I know a few subscribers asked me what I think. I bought it for 3 goddamn platforms just because I want to be able to cover them all. But actually, I'm kind of running out of footage here, so I'm going to be showing you guys some Erica Harbor gameplay from Battlefield Bad Company 2. This was also on my channel a very long time ago. Once again, I would always put some like movie music in the background, and I can't do that. So hope you guys enjoy that, but this is going to be a much bigger topic, talking about Battlefield Bad Company 3. Now obviously, I'm glad that there's a Battlefield game, but being a huge Bad Company series player, I wish it was Bad Company 3, and I'm going to be really discussing that right now. So first thing first is that the original Battlefield series, not the Bad Company spin-off, Battlefield 2, I mean, that was put aside for 5 years before Battlefield 3 was, reborn, before that series was re-sparked. And when we first saw it, I mean, everyone's minds had to have been blown because it was revolutionary. The graphics, I still remember the first time watching the Operation Metro E3 gameplay. I mean, everybody was just blown away because it was insane. It was mind-blowing. And one thing that I'm guessing is going to happen with Battlefield Bad Company 3 is they're going to use that exact same tactic. Put the series aside for 4 or 5 years, make a bunch of other Battlefield type games, respark Bad Company 3 with some insanity. I'm talking about like way higher graphics, way better everything. And obviously the big problem is with doing that, which I still laugh about, is that it's never going to be a true sequel at that point, because I can't even understand how anyone can even think Battlefield 3 is a true sequel to Battlefield 2. Sure, maybe people believe that before the game came out, but in all honesty, even though I love Battlefield 3, it was a complete excuse for them to add a bunch of more noobish things to the game just because it's a whole new it's like they're resparking the old game, but they changed it up completely. I couldn't find a single hardcore Bc2 or Battlefield 2 player that actually thought Battlefield 3 was a true sequel to Battlefield 2. It's a good game, it's its own game, it's much closer to Bad Company, but it also has a bunch of new elements thrown in it that some people like and obviously some people don't. And I, for one of them, I just don't care. I play the game for fun, and I'm happy with any Battlefield game that's announced. But that's basically the point here, is that the Battlefield, Battlefield Bad Company 2 was amazing. Battlefield Bad Company 3, I highly, highly doubt will be anything like Bad Company 2, simply on the fact you can't make a goddamn sequel 5 years after the previous title. And that's the same problem that happened with Battlefield 2. You put Battlefield 2 aside for 5 years, and then you decide to make a Battlefield 3 after doing all these changes. It's just, if they were to make a true Battlefield 2 sequel, they would have to be extremely uninnovative, and that would be the exact same problem. They would have to be extremely uninnovative, not make a lot of changes. Those are what real sequels are. But Battlefield, they really like to just, throw new skin on their game, do everything to their game. New gameplay, new physics, new blah blah blah. New everything. And that's the thing I really enjoy about Battlefield, even though occasionally some games will come out that I'm not exactly that I prefer other ones, just like Battlefield 3. Love Bad Company 2, really like Battlefield 3, but I still like Bad Company 2 more. So that's what I really want you guys to think about. Do you think they're going to be putting the Battlefield's Bad Company series aside, and then are they going to rehash it, respark it, and completely blow our minds in the same fashion and sense that they did for Battlefield 3? Because that is exactly what I can imagine. I mean, we all want to continue the story of Battlefield Bad Company. I mean, Bad Company series had the greatest single player first-person shooter, like linear game I've ever met. I love the characters, love the Bad Company squad, everything about that campaign, and the way it ends, it's just screaming for a freaking a third part, and I really want to know what happens, because right at the end, I believe Russia is attacking into the United States, and that would also relate to how, you know, Battlefield 3 is much more urban environments, and you know, you go into the United States, you're gonna be in much more urban environments. And Bad Company 2, most of that was set in South America, and there's more jungles, more Erica Harbor setting maps, and that kind of stuff. But now that they're bringing that entire setting into the US, where supposedly Bad Company 3 would be, the setting of Bad Company 3 would be, it would make a lot more sense, and I'm sure they're going to be able to create much bigger environments, so like, you know, skyscrapers, bigger cities inside of the US. So my personal opinion, Bad Company 3 will probably be taking place US around 2015. So 2014 we'll probably start seeing it being announced and start moving up, because 2013 I'm guessing will be Battlefield 4, the year of Battlefield 4. And I guarantee first time we're gonna actually start seeing footage of it is around March 2013, because March, or actually February 2011 is when we saw the first gameplay, or yeah, actually the first gameplay of Battlefield 3. And I still remember seeing that one trailer that was only, I don't know, like a minute long. There's a bunch of fart sounds happening and this amazing graphics, and that right there, and I could totally imagine seeing Battlefield Bad Company 3, more fart sounds and whatever. And one thing I actually hope it's not fart sounds, because the Bad Company 2 soundtrack, which you guys are hearing right now, this is actually the main theme of Battlefield Bad Company 2. Absolutely amazing. I actually listen to it all the time, just like free music. I prefer to listen to this than most other music that's available nowadays. So once again, amazing music, amazing game. But let's do a little wrap up here. So basically, Battlefield 4 coming with Medal of Honor. I'm happy with it. You know, any Battlefield game, I'm glad they're at least that Battlefield Bad Company 3 will be completely, hopefully different, because they do have a pretty, they hopefully will set a pretty thick line between their Bad Company series and their Battlefield series. I really want them to make Bad Company 3 to be a Bad Company game, not a Battlefield game, which they're same in the core, but way different in terms of gameplay and everything else. Medal of Honor Warfighter I will be getting on PC, just so I can get nice graphics and better frame rate and all that good stuff. I'm making a lot of videos on it. People need to stop complaining about the release date, because A, there's not even a release date. It's just announced. They're just saying, okay, yeah, we're making Battlefield 4. And obviously they can't say when, because they might not be able to hit it. Another thing is that, you know, this Battlefield 4, which I'm guessing coming out fall 2013, like probably once again in October, because Battlefield 3 was actually one of the only Battlefield games that was released in the holiday season. And they really liked the holiday season, and before they were making their games, they didn't want to touch that holiday season, because I guess they didn't think their brand was big enough. You know, Bad Company 2 came out in March, Battlefield Bad Company 1 came out in summer, and they didn't want to really go into that Call of Duty season and Call of Duty and Halo and all those buttload of other games. They didn't want to get into that time space, and with Battlefield 3, they were perfectly content with it. They knew they had the product, they put it out there, and they obviously succeeded, and that was one of the first Battlefield games that really did extremely well. And I'm very glad for them, and now you can clearly see that they're able to create more products, and hopefully Battlefield Bad Company 3 will be one of them in the near future. And then as for premium, I'm confident with what they're doing. A little bit just iffy until I start seeing things, but I'm confident. I trust them. Hopefully Aftermath and Endgame will live up to par with the previous DLCs they have made. Please let me know what you guys think about that. And then obviously, please, DICE, whenever you can, make Bad Company 3, conclude the story or extend the story. I'll be cool with the Bad Company 4, and basically, yeah, just respark that thing, because I can guarantee you when they do respark it, it's gonna be just as mind-blowing as Battlefield 3. So thank you guys a lot for watching. Really, thank you very much. Please be sure to leave your own opinions about everything we talked about here in the comment section below. Talk to other commentators, and let them know what you guys think. Let them know about all these opinions. Let me know if you disagree with some of mine. Let me know if you do agree. So either way, guys, if you want, check out my machinima series and stuff. I got a bunch of cool machinimas on there, as well as the air supremacy. And of course, every single like really does mean a lot to me, so thank you for all that do that. I hope to see you guys very soon. Peace out.